And Josh, what is your key for each team, if you have one or two for each team in this matchup?
Obviously, Mary and Dave covered the bases, but you cannot talk anything about Texas A&M without Holland Hand. And Hands she's gonna do what she's gonna do, and I think the most important thing for the Gators is not only to take advantage of opportunities that they get in transition outside of dealing with Hands, but to maintain composure, knowing that she's gonna get her shots, and instead of forcing situations, maybe get on it a little earlier than they're usually accustomed to, but nonetheless getting on it. And then, of course, the Rachel Kramer slide has been so effective, it's got to happen today.
Taylor Voss will serve for Texas A&M. She approaches, and we're underway. Pass there, Hall back left for Florida. To the right side, Holly Carlton with the tip. And the libero, Gomez, makes a great play on it. Holland Hand swings. Stick save with the right hand by Allie Gregory. Out to the outside to Thayer Hall. Thayer Hall caught some net tape, and it went out of bounds. So an attack error for Thayer Hall to open up play on the first rally termination. And it's 1-0 Texas A&M.
And an astounding defensive play from either team already in the first exchange with a pancake and then a one-armed sprawling dig from Gregory.
Here's the serve for Voss. This is Hammonds in back middle. Martley sets the outside. Hall tip shot. Played up from the back row by Connor to the right side. Rush, and she will kill it. Triana Rush. 2-0 Texas A&M.
Now, I mentioned that the Gators need to kind of get warmed up a little bit earlier than they're accustomed to, avoid overextending, but this intensity that A&M has shown up with in the O'Connell Center has to be matched by the Gators. They have to swing away.
Pass there, Hall. It's an overpass. Look out below. Easy kill for McKenna Patterson.
This is where it pays off to have been in situations where your back's been against the wall. Gators been on the ropes before, as you mentioned, even in the last matchup late in set 5. Knowing that you can come back from this and not to freak out, so to speak.
By the numbers, Texas A&M, the second best serving team in the conference. That's a pass for Paige Hammonds. Quick set to Dooley, and Dooley puts it down. Gators on the scoreboard. Texas A&M 3, Florida 1.
Dooley getting an opportunity to go straight on with that swing, staying in front of Marley Monserrat as she typically does. Of the two middles for Florida, we see Rachel Kramer hitting the slide behind the setter more frequently.
Thayer Hall to serve it beyond the end line, back right side. Her approach, short one to serve. Pass made by Voss, sticked over the net by Connor. Thayer Hall will set her fellow outside. Paige Hammonds, offhand, she kills it. Hits it off of Rush there and Patterson for the kill.
That's a smart contact by Thayer Hall. She had to come all the way over to the left side of the court, but put a ball up nice and high to give Paige Hammonds the opportunity to kick out and use her vision, approach from outside to in, and still swing away for that tool.
Thayer Hall again from the same position in the A of Gators beyond the end line. Pass made by their libero Gomez. Out to the outside to Hands. Angle shot, and it's just long. Texas A&M looking for a touch first, but then that call is not there, and it was just long, so the attack error, and we're tied at 3.
As Mary Wise mentioned, when you get to this point, blocking is such a huge factor, but you cannot forget the serve-pass battle. And right now, Florida's putting pressure on the Aggies.
Serve forthcoming from Thayer Hall, who's had a great serving year in her sophomore campaign. Set to the middle, McKenna Patterson, dug up by Allie Gregory. Marley steps in, sets the right side. Holly Carlton winds up and misses it wide. And looking for a touch, there's a touch call. Touch call made, and it's a point for Florida Gators with the first lead of the afternoon, 4-3 after the Carlton kill. The officials today, Robert Skidmore, the up official. Patrick Lobig is the down official. And here is the serve forthcoming. Fourth in this turn for Thayer Hall. Connor sits the outside. Hands, angle shot is long. So Holland Hands is 0 for 2. Slow start for Holland Hands, who came into action today. Second in the SEC, 4.42 kills per set. Florida 5, Texas A&M 3.
Looked pretty clear that Hands was going for high hands against the Carlton and Dooley block, but missing them.
Pass made Gomez, not a great one, out to Hands. Just tips it across, played up by Hammonds behind the block. Marley sets the pipe. Thayer Hall, tip shot. Played into the net by Rush. Thayer Hall gets the kill to make it Florida 6, Texas A&M 3.
More a better start in getting some points on the board and getting her both serving and offensive stats in the positive.
3 in serve receive for Texas A&M. This one's at Voss. Oh, and the setter, Connor, and the libero, Gomez, collide. It'll count as another service ace. We'll chalk it up unofficially as a miscommunication because both players really had an easy play on the ball, but oops.
But just as importantly, when I look back to the service line, see Thayer Hall, and she's all smiles, that's a dangerous situation if you're on the other side of the net.
Florida 8, Texas A&M 3. Set to the right side, rush blocked. The block will stay in. Lauren Dooley up alongside of Paige Hammonds.
And I've mentioned this before, but it's Paige Hammond's responsibility to set where the block occurs. And Dooley, all she needs to do is close and penetrate. And both Gators, in that respect, doing their job and then some to come up with that block.
Florida trailed 3-0. Now they lead 9-3, a 9-0 scoring run. Pass Voss for Texas A&M to the outside to Hands. Dug up by Thayer Hall. High in the air, played by Allie Gregory off her forearms. Paige Hammond sends it across with 2 hands. Played up by McKenna Patterson. Out to the outside to Holland Hands. Gators block it back. Stuck up and blocked up, tapped up by Patterson. Tapped across by Rush. Played up by Gregory of Florida to the back row. And Thayer Hall is blocked. Hit it into McKenna Patterson.
And hitting out of and Holland Hands up on the other side, hitting into a double block out of the pipe. Very difficult situation to overcome. But kudos to A&M for scouting and taking away that half of the court. Need a little bit better vision if you're swinging out of the pipe.
Pass Thayer Hall. Patterson served it to the outside to Hammonds, and Paige Hammonds with the kill.
I was talking to Dave Booz, would have been a couple matches ago, and he had mentioned how the Gators really put together their most complete performance 2 matches after dropping to Kentucky when they were playing Georgia at Georgia in Athens. And this is exactly what he was talking about. So far we've seen all-star performance defensively from Gregory and high-powered offense.
Out to the outside goes Texas A&M to Holland Hands. Dug up by Gregory. It goes across the net and out of bounds Texas A&M side. So make it 10-5 after the play concluded there. And Texas A&M will now serve it into the lineup for the first time. Carly Basham for Texas A&M. Beyond the end line, right side, flat-footed serve from the floor. Pass Hammonds, set to the middle. Kramer's first look. Dug up by Taylor Voss. Out to Holland Hands. Angle shot. Dug up by Allie Gregory and back left for Florida. Gators go outside to Paige Hammonds. Off hands. Played up by Basham to the slide play. And getting it in on the slide is Mallory Talbert, the other middle blocker on the other side of the rotation from Patterson.
And Talbert's hitting at just under a 300 clip. As a middle, that's not too shabby, but typically is very low error. 1, maybe 3 errors each time. Last time out against the Gators, only 3 on 17 swings. But that's just another threat that Florida has to contend with.
Basham serves. Hammonds passes. Kramer rips, just flat-footed. You went up and got it. And they dig it up. Gators will block Holland Hands. Kramer and Carlton.
And how ironic is it, Tom, that everybody knows, and Mary echoed this, that you really have to do what you can to contain everybody else, because Holland Hands is going to get what she gets. Well, the Gators are containing Hands right now.
Serve, Florida. Texas A&M, the setter, Connor sends the ball across. Gators weren't fooled. Sent across on second contact by Monserrat for Florida. Outside to Hands. Gators block it. Good up by Gomez. On the block cover, out to Hands again. Down the line, missed it long, but there's a touch.
Hands was going for high hands on Marley Monserrat, the shorter of the 2 blockers at the right side. For the Gator setter, found him. That's going to be the matchup. Anytime Monserrat is next to Rachel Kramer, of course, Hands, or if Lauren Davis is in the front row, she's going to be looking for those line shots. The Gators have to adjust and play a little bit of floor defense line behind that block.
Holland Hands now to serve. Leads the SEC in service aces per set. Looking for her 50th on the season.
Vicious serve, float serve from Holland Hands.
Bangs that one. Pass made, Gregory. Slide play, Kramer, tip shot. Kill, Rachel Kramer.
And what makes Holland Hands serve so difficult is it's a hybrid serve, Tom. There's a bit of rotation. It drops more often than not right to left. But it is a float serve, and there is tons of pace on it every single rep.
Here's Paige Hammonds to serve. Florida 12, Texas A&M 7. Pass made. Back row, Basham to the outside. Tip shot for Davis. Gators play it across. Stick with the hand by Camille Connor, but it goes out of bounds outside the antenna.
Great heads
Florida
up.
13, Texas A&M 7.
Sorry about that. Great heads up play by Kramer as she just decided to tip over instead of playing out 3 contacts. When you're bumping up against 6'9" in the front row, you want to own the net the best you can, and Kramer's getting very good at that.
Back-to-back kills for Kramer, 13-7, Florida with the lead. Pass Holland Hands, back right. Connor goes right side. Ooh, a severe angle shot there. Cutting it was Mallory Talbert, but she misses it wide.
And if Talbert hadn't caught the tape with that swing, I think she would have found a very sharp angle kill. Looked like a little bit of a miss hit nonetheless, but
Third serve here for Paige Hammonds this turn. 3 in serve receive for Texas A&M. Gomez left. Middle is Basham and right is Hands. That one's too long. Service error for Paige Hammonds. It's Florida 14, Texas A&M 8. Out goes Mallory Talbert. Back in is McKenna Patterson. She leads the league, does Patterson. 1.36 blocks per set. She's a force in the middle. Here's the serve for Gomez. Pass made. Hammonds back right. Slide play. Kramer down the line. Got it in for the kill.
And how great is that for Paige Hammonds, who's leading the Gators in aces, to be able to, even when she doesn't get the ace, serving aggressively, obviously bigger chance for error. The other great skill that she possesses is she's already in the back row. She goes right into her defensive mode and contributes that stellar first contact ball control.
Chanel Hargraves checks in. One of the four Gator seniors serving here. Pass made, Hands in back middle. Near the net, Dooley will be called for over the net violation. That was close.
Maybe just a little too aggressive on Lauren Dooley's part as the ball was headed toward the net. She's not allowed to get involved until either 3 Razorbacks have touched it or the ball breaks the vertical plane, which it did not.
And I beg your pardon, the officials were listed backwards on our official listing. Wade Brents is the up official and Doug Darling the down official. The 2 names we gave you previously are our line judges. Serve Connor. Gators will go to the outside to Thayer Hall. Angle shot dug up by Holland Hands in back middle. Goes near the net. Tap back down by Thayer Hall for the kill. And what court vision she saw creeping in from back left was Holland Hands, and she put it past her.
And not only that, the timing. Treyana Rush, the freshman right side for Arkansas, was up on that joust. Thayer Hall beat her to it.
16-9 Florida with a 7-point lead. Here is the serve for Monserrat. Pass made, Hands, not a great one. Gomez has to play it off the forearms outside to Davis. Stuff block for Lauren Dooley and Holly Carlton.
And this is the cascading effect of an aggressive serve. When you can serve as aggressively as Monserrat did, keeping the pass outside of the 10-foot line, teams are forced to set the pin. Makes it a predictable blocking structure for your opponent. So the Gators already have 2 blockers out there and are set up.
Great serve, Marley Monserrat. Pass, Holland Hands, not a great one off the forearms. Right side rush, blocked. Blocked by Hall, up alongside of Lauren Dooley.
And that wasn't a season already in this match.
Texas A&M came in 5th in league, 2.37 blocks per set. Gators, of course, leading the league. Marley goes to Dooley. Dooley dug up by Gomez. Near the net, Connor steps in, gets it to Patterson. Patterson goes away from Dooley and goes down for the kill.
When you're in a one-on-one situation like that as a middle, all you can do is watch as much tape as possible. Dooley's got to pick a side where she's going to block. Just chose wrong.
So Arkansas coming into today, Florida's going to have to send across a free ball. It'll be Thayer Hall, played by Gomez. Connor goes to Patterson. Gators got a hand on it to Dooley, but it falls to the floor. So back-to-back kills now for Patterson. 3 in this scoring run for the middle blocker, McKenna Patterson. It's Florida 18, Texas A&M 14. Gators led 18-9, a 5-0 Texas A&M scoring run. Number 5, Voss serving. Pass there, Hall, solid. Marley didn't have to move. Gives it to Hall on the outside. Gomez, out of self-defense, digs it up right at her face, but it goes across the net out of bounds. Kill for Thayer Hall and a point for the Gators, ending that 5-0 scoring run.
That shows the other side of the serve-pass battle with the last play prior to that, the first blip in passing by the Gators, and everything just spiraled out of control from there. When you get the pass, you can feed your offense, you get kills.
Thayer Hall, who served Florida into the lead earlier in this set, serves it here. Great serve. They go to Patterson. Someone will get it. It'll be Gregory. Hammond sends it across. Free ball played by Patterson of A&M. A&M goes to the right side to Rush against one. She misses everything. She had a smaller player in front of her in Paige Hammonds. Had the hands to hit, but went above and missed.
And that's the second highlight reel dig for Allie Gregory already in this match. With her non-dominant hand, reaching out with that left hand and popping the ball back up to keep the Gators alive.
So the attack error by Rush. It's Florida 20, Texas A&M 14. Serve Voss. Out to the outside to Hands. Tip shot. Played up by Carlton. Second contact off the forearms to Monserrat in the plane to the net. Sent back across by Rush or Patterson. Take your pick. Gregory plays the ball for forearms to the back row and blocked as Thayer Hall. Hit it right into Patterson. And that's someone you really can't rear back and rip against. As I said, leading the league in blocks per set. Great anticipation at the net for Patterson.
Well, it's a good read from Patterson, but also, like I said, so much of this has to do with watching film and looking at tendencies for hitters in different situations, particularly out of the pipe where you've got a 50-50. You've got to pick a side.
Sestala checks in for the first time, serves for A&M. Gators go middle, and Lauren Dooley delivers.
Speaking of picking a side, Dooley going against the flow, swinging to right back in Texas A&M's court. Nice clean kill from a player that really just kind of came on the scene early this season. I wouldn't say out of nowhere. She's been highly touted, but just
out of nowhere at 6'6".
With a blow-up season so far, Lauren Dooley.
Here's Allie Gregory serving. Pass made. Gomez out to the right side to Rush. She pushes it down the line. In for a kill.
I have to laugh at the look of some of the Gators' faces as they wonder why that may not have been called as a lift.
She pushed it for a long time, but I think her hand was right even with her head. If it's behind her head, they'll call for extended contact.
Very wise of you, Tom Collette.
Basham serves the ball in the net for the error. It's Florida 22, Texas A&M 16.
And if I were in any less of a professional setting, I would say something like the ball never lies watching that service error after the last call, but we don't do that on this broadcast.
Holly Carlton will serve it for Florida. She was one and done her first time, and she's one and done here with the ball in the net. Florida 22, A&M 17.
Holly Carlton.
Riley Fisher checks in for Florida for Holly.
Holly Carlton, a player that has another Florida player that has a number of ways to contribute to the game, and typically one of the first two players to get set in the opening of pretty much any match. They look to establish her very early at 6'7" and a lefty. She's a force on both sides of the ball at the net and typically serves a bit better than she has so far today.
Holland hands, smacks the ball into the floor, spins it in her left hand. Now will approach and serve, left to right. Pass made, Hall, solid. Gators go outside to Hammonds, angle shot, down for the kill.
And the Gators are doing a very, very solid job of putting up dimes and giving options to Monserrat on that serve.
Florida 23, Texas A&M 17. Here's Paige Hammonds to serve. 3 in serve receive for Texas A&M. Pass made, hands back right. Connor goes all the way to the outside to Davis. Off hands, played up by Hammonds. Marley jump sets it across the net and will get it down for the kill.
Good timing by Monserrat. She's got a number of dumps that she uses, but she seems to like that two-handed set over. It's a little JV, but man, she makes it work better than most. And coming into this, if we look down the stat line, she's just a little under 300. She's at 242 on making choices for that. 69 kills on the season.
Set point Florida. Connor tries the same thing. Kramer sends it across. Played up by Hands near the net. Kramer goes up one-on-one and blocks Camille Connor, who took a swing with the left hand. And Kramer said, not on my watch. No second swing, second contact swing. Camille Connor is going to work when Hands in back left wears number 9. Number 21 for Florida, Marley Monserrat, the third sister to play here at Florida. And here is her serve, and set 2 is underway. Pass Voss, off the forearms, out to Hands. She swings, she's blocked, but it goes out of bounds off Carlton and Dooley down the sideline wide. So Hands gets the kill there for Holland Hands. A quiet first set for her. That's just her third kill on the afternoon. And now she's back to 0 hitting efficiency. 3 kills, 3 errors for Hands. Set to the outside to Thayer Hall. Tip shot is blocked. Thayer Hall plays it up. Monserrat plays it, and someone's
violation.
in the net. It's called, I believe, on Rush. If I'm not, no, 4 hits. Okay, Gators didn't touch it. So it's a point for Florida. We're tied at 1.
And I think you were right, Tom. You saw both. The down ref was talking about how Rush was in the net while the up ref was calling 4 contacts.
Okay, so here we go. Thayer Hall now will serve for Florida. Patterson served it last time, so she's out now. And Mallory Talbert on the other side of the rotation is in the front row at the middle blocker position for A&M. Here's the serve for Thayer Hall, and it's in the net. With Texas A&M 2, Florida 1.
With the serving strategy outlined in the preset huddle, obviously you have to be aggressive with the serving, but you also have to be consistent. And this early on, you have to develop a rhythm, both offensively and from the service line.
Here's the serve for Carly Basham, and that's in the net. Both teams well aware, Dr. Crow, that they have to serve aggressively to try to get the other team out of its normal side-out offense.
And the more aggressively you serve, the greater risk for error. But yeah, this isn't the rhythm I was talking about.
Serve for Gregory, catches the net, played up by Connor, just rolled over the net. Outside to Hands, Gators block it, played up nicely by Talbert. Out to Hands again. Angle shot is in for the kill. Dave Boo's calling it out and then looks down the bench to say, is that in or out? Should we challenge it? Goes to Texas A&M on the point currently. Yep. And will Mary Wise challenge? Yes, she will. That's one of the things you can challenge, Dr. Crow. Ball in or out, foot fault on serves, net violations. So that's one of the things you can't. Yep, that as well.
Essentially anything that's not a judgment call.
Right.
And there are two particular calls that are judgment calls. Ball handling errors, typically on the second contact, lifts or doubles. But almost anything else is fair game. And in this case, I wanted to comment really quickly while we have a moment, is the quality touch on the block by Holly Carlton in the prior exchange at the net. Penetrating the vertical plane of the net is very important to point out, a successful block. Carlton got up, and even though it didn't result in a Gator point, it keeps pressure on A&M, and having to transition in a short game. They're already up under covering the attack. It stunts the offense, but that just goes to show how, I guess, dangerous Holland Hands is. She fires right back with that angle shot. Yet to be determined, but maybe clipping the line.
The Florida women's basketball team takes on Florida A&M tomorrow right here in Exact Tech Arena at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. Tip-off set for 2 p.m. Don't miss out on all the family-friendly fun while cheering on head coach Cam Neubauer and his 2019-2020 squad. Single game tickets on sale now. Get yours today at floridagators.com/tickets. It appears the call has been made. Far side. And what will we have? The point will go to Florida. The attack was out. So instead of a kill for Holland Hands, it's an attack error for the A&M outside hitter. And instead of a 3-2 A&M lead, it's a 3-2 Florida lead. Here's the serve for Allie Gregory. Pass made Gomez. Set to the right side. Talbert. Monserrat couldn't play it from 2 knees down to go get it low, but it falls harmlessly onto the floor. We're tied at 3.
Gators committing to defend the line on the slide attack and funneling the offense on the slide to Monserrat, but that ball was on her pretty quick.
Fasten your seatbelt. Here's Hands the serve. Hammonds left. Hall middle. Right. Gregory. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat tracks it down. Jump set to the right side. Sent across with 2 hands by Holly Carlton. Gomez off of her forearms. Holland Hands back row. Gators touch it. Played by Monserrat. Played by Hall. Tipping it across is Hammonds. Played up by Davis to Talbert. Played up by Carlton behind the block. Monserrat steps in off the forearms to Hammonds. Dug up by Gomez after it was diverted at the net. Back row attack Hands. Off speed shot. Played behind the block by Hammonds. And we have a back row attack called against Texas A&M. I didn't see because I'm blocked by the up official. Her foot must have been on the line.
Unfortunate when you've got a long rally like that for it to end on something other than a defining contact, a big block or a big kill, but credit both teams in their scrappiness and staying in that play.
Holly Carlton to serve. Pass, Holland Hands. Set to the outside. Davis will hit it off of Monserrat for the kill. Kramer was looking to maybe play an overpass in the middle, so there was Monserrat out on the island by herself.
And Monserrat doing a great job of both placing and almost timing the block, but she was left just a little bit open, which allowed that ball to come down. At her height, 6 foot even, I think that may even be a little generous. She does a very good job of blocking at Florida's right pin.
Credit the last kill to Lauren Davis, a freshman out of Orlando's Bishop Moore Catholic. Guess who else went there? Overpass. Easy pickings for McKenna Patterson. Set up by a great serve there from Gomez.
Those are little plays that A&M's got to jump on, not only for the point it puts on the board, but the momentum that it brings the team.
Of course, Marley Monserrat went to Bishop Moore Catholic, a teammate of Davis. Pass Hammonds. Gators go slide play. And in, just hugging the line. Back line was Rachel Kramer for the kill. For Rachel Kramer, make it now 4 kills and 6 swings on the afternoon. We're tied at 5.
Kramer and the Gators saw a lot of success with the slide, with the majority of her 10 kills, and the last outing being from the slide.
Serve forthcoming for Paige Hammonds. Pass made, Basham. Out to the outside to Davis. Oh, she got a hand on it. Did a diving Paige Hammonds, but can't control it. Kill for Lauren Davis, the freshman. It's Texas A&M 6, Florida 5.
Good contact from Davis on high hands. When you're clamped out like that with the double block, that's one of the best shots you can make if you can get it. High hands and send that ball sailing because nobody can make contact.
Camille Connor serves. The lefty, the setter. Caught it, little net tape. Passed by Hammonds. Gators go slide again. Kramer tips it. Tapped up, played up by Patterson. Out to Davis on the outside. Blocked back by Monserrat. Davis played it up across the net. Florida now. Monserrat goes outside to Thayer Hall. She winds up. They keep it alive. Davis swings. Roll shot. Played up by Gregory in back left. Monserrat back set slide play. Kill Rachel Kramer. Severe angle shot in front of Connor in front right.
And I have to say, Tom, on the last set, not that one, Kramer had a better look for that swing, but something had her spooked. Either the connection or timing. but she was basically up against one block the last time and chose to tip instead of swinging away. But
and Rachel Kramer heating up at the right time, Josh.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, coming back and redeeming herself on that last one.
9 double-digit kills on the year. Matches, I should say. Oh, what a save by Connor. Somehow Davis gets it across the net. No, it didn't go across the net. That's a point for Florida.
And in
just
that
to finish that thought, Kramer hot offensively. 9 double-digit kill matches on the year. Last 2 in a row and 3 out of the last 4.
And on that last contact, even though it didn't break the plane of the net, it doesn't need to because, of course, Texas A&M had used their 3 contacts. Fair game for Florida.
Hargrave serves the ball into the net for the error. We're tied at 7 here in the second set. If you just joined us, Florida took the opening frame, 25-17, raced out to an early big lead behind the serve of Thayer Hall, and then saw Texas A&M close the gap, but Florida hit the gas again at the end to take it. And here is Taylor Voss checking in to serve for A&M. Fisher in for Florida, passing left. Middle Hammonds, right Gregory. Here's the serve. In the net. Now Florida retakes the lead 8-7. This is more of the action I thought we'd see, Josh, just back and forth. Both teams trying to scratch out points, serving aggressively, not to allow the other team's setter to have 3 options when receiving that entry pass.
And as you mentioned, so much on the line for both teams in this case.
Marley with a bullet serve, caught net, played up by Patterson. Set to the right side to Rush. Tip shot over the block, played up by Monserrat. Off the forearms of Gregory, out to the outside, Thayer Hall. Caught net, spun out of bounds.
And to finish that thought, with both on the line, or both teams having so much on the line, more so for Florida, as you mentioned, in their share of an SEC championship riding on a win today.
Serve for Texas A&M as Sabrina Sestala has checked in. Just a freshman at 5'5" from Cypress, Texas. Gators go middle to Dooley, and Dooley gets it down. Didn't get a lot on the ball, but found the court.
And as it is right now, the majority of Lauren Dooley's contacts, not huge, big thumping swings, but she's doing a very good job of judging and not erring when the connection's not quite right, if her timing's off, or the set from Monserrat. Doing a good job of getting the ball in bounds, even if it's a 3/4 pace swing.
Hands left, Voss middle, and Gomez right and serve receive. Here's Thayer Hall serving. Gomez with the pass. Set to the right side. Here's Rush. Dug up by Gregory. What a bullet down the line, far side. Gators go outside to Hammonds. She is blocked. Rush was there and stuffed it. Talbert was alongside, taking away the angle shot, but Hammonds tried to go down the line and was stuffed.
And one of the most difficult swings to handle is a hard-driven ball right down the line, just because you don't have so much time to react. Shame that was kind of taken away from Allie Gregory, because what a contact on that Gator dig.
9-9 the score here in the second set. Pass Thayer Hall. Set to the right side. Carlton. Gators play it up. Was Monserrat after Carlton was blocked, but Monserrat's save went across the net out of bounds. It's a big block for Texas A&M, and it is now A&M 10, Florida 9 here in the second frame. Again, serving is Carly Basham. Hammonds left, middle, Gregory, right, Hall. Hall cuts off Gregory. Monserrat goes over to the outside to Hammonds. Dug up by Gomez. It was touched at the net. Back set, slide play. Talbert with the kill.
And Hammonds swinging aggressively so far, but not.
11-10. A&M with the 1-point lead. Kramer back in the match for Florida now as the Gators rotate. Hammonds with the swing. Dug up by Voss after being touched to the right side to Talbert. Somehow the dig from Monserrat went across the court. Talbert again. Dug up by Monserrat again. Off of Gregory's forearms out to the right side. Carlton swings. Carlton kills. We're tied at 11.
And I think the Talbert-Monserrat battle as of now has Monserrat up by 1. Those are 2 very aggressive swings and not right in Monserrat's wheelhouse either. She's having to sprawl and reach out for those, keeping the Gators alive. What gritty defense from the Florida setter.
Tied at 11. Here is Allie Gregory serving. Pass made. A&M goes out to Hands. Angle shot in for the kill. And Gregory must be helpless feeling the ball has so much pace on it you can't get to it even with a dive.
Well, reading the look on her face, clearly frustrated with herself at misjudging that ball.
12-11. A&M with a 1-point lead here in set 2. And Hall and Hands ready to serve it. Hall and Hands, the league is just taking a deep breath now because this is her senior campaign. What a bullet. Hall's pass goes across the net and easily slammed down by Lauren Davis.
First time that Florida hasn't at least put up a 2-option pass in receiving the serve from Hall and Hands. You see what happens. Thayer Hall, not a bad passer, but a ball that's straight on, right on her midline. Too tough to handle.
A&M in the first meeting targeted Hall the most with their serves. She'll make a solid pass there. Monserrat takes a step, sets the middle. Kramer tips the ball into the net. She was on her way down and didn't give it enough oomph.
And how frustrating it must be for the Gators, because that's a well-controlled pass and just a mistimed connection between the Florida middle and setter.
After the attack error, it's Texas A&M 14, Florida 11. Here is Hands. Get ready. Here's the bullet. Service ace. 15-11. That was just a bullet. As Holland Hands, with the ace there, came into action, as I said, leading the league in service aces per set. That's number 50 on the year for the senior, and forces Mary Wise to take another timeout. Gators do not want to lose touch here in this second set, a set in which Texas A&M has played better defensively, and it starts with serving. They've had the Florida serve receive, the passers on their heels, and that has allowed the offense of Florida, if you're a Texas A&M observer, to be more predictable, and they've had better blocks set up, not having to cover the whole stretch of the net, Josh.
Well, let me circle back to the beginning of that. With the serve-pass battle between these two teams, regardless of whoever ends up statistically on top, you have to expect that it's going to go back and forth. You know, there are going to be times where A&M servers are hot and Florida's passing's not, and vice versa. And that's what we're seeing now. The trick is to not get frustrated. When things aren't going your way, as a passer, you cannot hang on that last contact. You have to look forward to this one. Otherwise, you lose half a step, and that's all somebody like Holland Hands needs to come up with aces on the serve. Now, with the blocking and making adjustments, Florida really having Hands' number to start off with, and maybe in a situation where they've got a little bit more of a diversification of the offense. Florida can spread the ball out just a bit more successfully if they can retain that pass than A&M. When you've got somebody like Holly Carlton with her height, Rachel Kramer even taller at the middle, and then two outsides, particularly Thayer Hall, who can go off out of the pipe or out of the pin in the front row.
Two middles lead their respective teams today to this point in kills. Patterson for A&M with 5, Kramer with Florida with 5. After the Florida called timeout, here's the hand serve right to left. Pass made Hammonds. Monserrat tracks it down. Sets Kramer, who pushes it down for the kill.
Monserrat on the run. Sophomore going almost all the way across the net. Back setting to find Kramer. Kramer with the double block up. Smart enough to just tip. Use her height, keep the ball in play.
Smart play by both. I thought that had overpass written all over,
sure
but Monserrat made a great play. Overpass there. Kramer stuffs it down for the kill. Make it 7-1-11 for Rachel Kramer.
And just like that, the momentum shifts. And though there's nothing on the stat line for momentum, it may be the most important facet of volleyball. Whoever has it is dangerous.
Back-to-back kills for Kramer. Pass made Basham to the outside to Davis. Off hands, played up by Carlton. Marley Monserrat, slide play to Kramer. It's dug up by Gomez, goes across the net, played by Gregory. Monserrat goes to the outside to Hammonds. Off hands, played up by Davis. To the right side to Talbert, and Talbert kills it.
Kramer just couldn't get out there in time. Talbert one-on-one against Paige Hammonds. Advantage to Talbert, and she took advantage in hitting that sharp angle.
16-13, Texas A&M leads it by 3 here in set number 2. And number 13 for the Aggies in the contrasting white jerseys, Camila Gomez to serve.
And despite the overpass, what a dig on that Kramer slide.
Exactly. Off the forearms of Monserrat to Hammonds. Hammonds blasts, but misses.
Hammonds still trying to unlock the key to figuring out how, that doesn't make any sense, but trying to figure out how to get through this A&M block and get balls to the ground. She's getting around the block, but either hitting out or getting really good digs from A&M. Hasn't quite found out how to get kills yet.
4-point lead A&M. Serve Gomez. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat sets the slide. Kramer, touch at the net, played up by Hands. Set to the middle, Patterson. Gregory got a hand on it, Monserrat couldn't control. 18-13 Texas A&M. Mary Wise will make a change. Fisher out, and coming in is Paula Sarame. Sarame started the Stanford match at the libero position. Missed some time and hasn't played since the Auburn match back on the 20th of this month. She's in now. Monserrat will set the outside to Hammonds down the line, and she missed it.
And you talk about Sarame coming in. I was mentioning the diverse offense and the threats offensively that Florida has, but a lot of depth defensively as well with Sarame, Fisher, Gregory, and Hargraves being able to play those positions well.
Florida in this set only hitting 83. And that's an ace as Hammonds and Hall look at each other and let it go by.
I mentioned so important how to respond to when things aren't going your way on serve receive. And I think this is a really good example of how not to handle it when you get in a bit of a passing slump.
The Gomez 8th, her 18th of the year. Hammonds left, Hall middle, Gregory right. Pass Hall. Monserrat sets the slide. Kramer down for the kill. Make it 8 on the day for Rachel Kramer.
Great swing off of a great pass, but the fact of the matter is when you're playing a team like A&M and you're down by 6 points, they're at 20, this is a tough row to hoe for the Gators.
Let's see if there's some magic with Paige Hammond serving. Down the far side, pass made, Connor dumps it. With some pace for the kill.
And if you're coming up as dry as Paige Hammonds has offensively, you have to find a way to contribute to the effort for Gators. Did a good job with that serve, but man, right now, the Gators are going to need more than just Rachel Kramer hitting the slide in order to be successful today.
Connor, who got that last kill from the center position, now in the back row serving. Pass Thayer Hall back left. Monserrat jump sets the outside. Thayer Hall swings around. Dug up by Gomez on the angle shot from back left. Back row attack hands. Off speed shot. Played up by Gregory. Monserrat slide play to Kramer. Gomez got a hand on it. Hands now. Gomez sends it across. Free ball Florida. Play by Sarame. Monserrat sets the right side again. Tap shot for Kramer. They get the ball up. Somehow, Connor got the ball. Mary Wise and the Gators want a back row violation against Connor. Won't be called. Back to the right side goes Texas A&M, and Rush kills it.
And the Gators all pulling off of that play to say, hey, back row, to try to do a little officiating of their own. But you absolutely cannot take time to do that. You have to stay locked in on the play. Play to the whistle.
So Treyana Rush with the kill there. It's 21-14. A&M with a 7-point lead as their offense is up a tick. 3:33 in the current set. Florida only at 1:03. A&M came in one of the better defensive teams in the conference. Florida's had a great first set. Monserrat out to Thayer Hall. Blasts one off of hands for the kill.
And that's the position that Florida needs to bone up on just a little bit, is being productive from the left pin. Thayer Hall is usually the go-to. You mentioned it before. Number of double-digit kills sets so far this season. But so far, neither outside hitter really doing much for the Gators.
Serve forthcoming for Chanel Hargraves. Pass made hands. Out to the outside. Here's Davis. Off the Gator block, played up by Hammonds. Monserrat jump sets the outside. Thayer Hall, roll shot. Played up by Gomez. Set to the middle. Patterson pushes it long.
Just the break that the Gators need, even if it wasn't an earned point. Doesn't matter on the stat line. It doesn't matter on the scoreboard. You got senior Chanel Hargraves on her night back at the service line. You have to expect that she wants to do some good things to get the Gators back in here.
Hargraves beyond the end line, right side extended back, approach, serve. Pass hands. Connor goes outside to Davis. And it's out. Davis going down the line, missed it wide. So Gators will take those attack errors back to back. First one from Patterson, that one from Davis. It's Texas A&M 21, Florida 17. Chanel Hargraves serves. Pass hands. Connor goes right side, rush. Off the block attempt of Hall and Dooley for the kill.
Not much you can do about that one, Tom, except turn around, get in serve receive, and be prepared to get the ball back.
22-17. A&M with a 5-point lead, and now serving again is Taylor Voss. Hall left, middle, Hammonds right, Gregory, and serve receive. Serve forthcoming here is from Voss. Pass Hall to Hall. It flew by Dooley. Ball across the net, played up by Sarame. Monserrat tries to dump it. It's played up by Gomez to the right side to Rush. She powers it through the block attempt of Hall and Dooley.
And with so much talked about with Hall and hands, Rush has really been the one to force Florida to split their attention when she's in the front row, and has been productive at the right side for the Aggies.
6 kills now for Treyana Rush. That's 23-17 A&M, looking to even up this match at 1 apiece. Monserrat sets the outside. Hall through the block. Gets it down for the kill. Thayer Hall 6th on the day. 23-18 your score as Marley Monserrat prepares to serve. Out goes Sarame. Back in is Holly Carlton. So Carlton, Hall, and Dooley in the front row for Florida. Here's the serve for Marley. Shank pass. They keep it alive, but it goes out of bounds. Service ace for Marley Monserrat.
And when all things fail, the one aspect that you have control over in the game is when you're serving. don't have to rely on a contact from a prior player. Monterey in full control right now and trying their best to keep Gators alive.
Marley's 13th service ace on the year. Pass made Gomez. Connor goes outside to Hands. Kill for Hands. And that actually was set point. Hammonds and Gregory. Tied at 1 set apiece. Here we go with set 3. Taylor Voss beyond the end line, extended back left side. The approach and the serve. And that one's long.
Just by a bit, but the Gators catching a break early on, and maybe with Hall back on the line, able to get an early jump on Texas A&M before having to deal with Holland Hands.
Page in the front row. Here is Thayer Hall serving. Pass made, Gomez, overpass, blocked back down by Lauren Dooley. Good start for Florida, 2-0.
Good heads-up play by Dooley. There's so many times when you get those line drive overpasses to the net that middles try to overextend and error, and we saw that from Dooley actually against Arkansas, and she ended up coming out of the match for quite a time after that.
Thayer Hall serves. Pass made, Gomez. Out to the outside to Hands. That ball was in the net. She did all she could do to try to fist it across, but fisted it right into the net. 3-0 Florida. And I wouldn't even call that a trap set, Tom. It was so low and quick that it was below the plane by the time Hands got to it. Just trying to do too much there. 20-20. Thayer Hall serving for Florida here. 3-0. Pass made, Voss. Set to the right side. Rush off the net. Goes down the line. Dug up by Gregory. Marley sets the right side. Tip shot. Carlton. Down for the kill. Gomez couldn't get there in time from back left. And caught Rush with A&M relying on her so much, even with her foot speed, to hit at the right side and to spread the offense out for the Aggies. Holly Carlton knowing that she has to just tip over the block and get Rush all the way over to that sideline, and it worked. Haven't called Holly Carlton's name a lot. That's a player the Gators need to get involved. Voss with the pass. Right side to Rush. She pushes one into the net. It stays on the net and then comes across. Gators go quickly to Dooley. Dug up by Gomez. Connor goes outside to Hands. Angle shot. Dug up by Gregory. Marley Monserrat sets the pipe. Thayer Hall swings and kills as Patterson just a little bit late maybe getting there, and she didn't penetrate the plane to the net. Came down on the A&M side. 5-0 Florida. And again, Thayer Hall with an opportunity here to serve the Gators to open up this third frame with another point. Here is her serve at 5-0. Pass Gomez. Connor sets the middle. Patterson dug up by Gregory. Second contact, Hall. Outside Hammonds. And Hammonds there's a touch at the net. Hammonds gets the kill. And what an out-of-system set by Hall to put Hammonds in a situation where she could at least have the vision to hit high hands. Come up with a point for the Gators. Thayer Hall must love serving. The backdrop serving from the right side to our left. It's outside to Hands. Dug up by Thayer Hall in back middle. Marley sits the outside. Tip shot Hammonds. Played up by Hands behind the block. Hands goes up in the middle of the court. Dug up by Gregory. Marley jump sets the outside. Hammonds down the line. And she missed it. She had a good look. Paige Hammonds had the opportunity on the first exchange, knowing most likely in that somewhat out-of-system play that Monterey was going to have to set the pin, and she tipped. In that situation, you know the ball's coming to you. You have to be aggressive and end it if you can. Pass Hall, set to the outside to Hammond, sends it across with two hands, played up by Holland Hands, set to the right side to Rush, down the line, and it touched Gregory. And that's the exact same situation that I was just describing. Monterey hustling along the net, really only having one option. With as late as she's getting to the ball at full hustle, she can't back set to Carlton. It's got to go to Hammonds. Hammonds got to swing on that. Serve Patterson. Pass Hall, set across the net, played up by Patterson. No one else is going to play it, though, as it went underneath the net harmlessly. And I talked about being disruptive. There's Marley Monserrat doing exactly that and sending the ball over the second contact. When your hitters aren't working for you, you have to take the offense into your own hands. Marley with her second kill on the afternoon. It's Florida 7, A&M 2, Texas A&M. Here is Allie Gregory serving. Pass Gomez. Connor sets the middle. Talbert blocked. It goes off Talbert's face after it was played up by Connor. Ouch. You had talked about all the contacts from Thayer Hall in the first set or early on in the match. No surprise and not a coincidence that the Gators start with her behind the service line and, of course, followed up with a very effective server in Allie Gregory. Gregory with the serve. Pass. Voss to the right side. Rush. Off hands. Played up by Gregory. Monserrat back set. Right side. Carlton. Angle shot. One-handed save by Voss. Gomez will have to steer it across the net. Played short by Carlton. Gators go to Kramer. They keep it alive. Hands on the outside. Gators touch it. Played up by Hall and back right. Monserrat sets the outside. Hammonds winds up. Is blocked. Gregory saved it, but saved it right into the chest of Hammonds, who was right on top of her. It goes down to the floor.
And all of that exchange was defense from both teams. Really solid plays and out-of-system sets to at least give the hitters the opportunity to swing when you're having to be scrappy to get that ball back in bounds.
Credit Talbert and Rush for that last block for A&M. Here is Basham, who checks in to serve. Pass Hammonds and back left. Monserrat sets the middle. Kramer's second error of the day.
But the first big one for sure, and I don't know if she was looking for hands on that or was just a little too late, but definitely sailed that ball, Tom.
Hammonds left, Hall middle, Gregory right. Second serve here for Carly Basham. Short ball, and no one played it. Kramer got out of the way, and the passers stood back in the back.
That's the second time in this match that we've seen a miscommunication between Hall and Hammonds on serve receive. Second time the ball's landed in between them. There's no room for that in this type of match where the teams are so evenly.
Basham's 11th ace on the year. Pass Hammonds here. Gators go right side to Carlton. A little extra on that one. Kill for Holly Carlton. Make it Florida 9, Texas A&M 5, and for Carlton on the day, her fourth kill.
You mentioned that Carlton was overdue. Maybe she heard you on that one because there was, like you said, a little extra mustard on that swing.
Here is the serve now for Holly Carlton. A&M goes outside to Hands, had to push it across. Played up by Carlton, goes across the net. Hands is blocked by Marley Monserrat. She thought she might have the Gator defense not in position, but Marley Monserrat anticipated it, went up and blocked Hands, one-on-one.
That is a crucial contact for the Gators. You hear the crowd go wild over that, and Monserrat's teammates as well.
Pass Gomez. Connor goes outside to Hands. Gators blocked it. High in the air, played by Gomez. Out to Hands. Dug up by Gregory in back left. Monserrat sets the pipe. Hall swings. Hall kills with a blast.
And the Gators relentless with their offense in the last couple of exchanges, but most importantly, perhaps, with the block. Holland Hands trying to take advantage of the shorter outside blocker in Marley Monserrat, swinging down into that block, similar to what we saw Thayer Hall do against Arkansas earlier in the week. You got a short player like that, sometimes you get a little bit too greedy.
A&M goes to the slide play, and Talbert buries one down the line.
That was a swing. No two ways about it. Talbert was timed on the slide very well. Let's say maybe contact 12 feet off the net. What a paced ball.
Holland Hands serving. Again, buckle up your seatbelt. Here we go. She has got one of the best serves in the conference, if not the entire NCAA. Blasts it there. Past Gregory. Marley sets the right side. Kramer, angle shot. They dig. Goes across the net. Played up by Fisher. Out to the outside to Hammonds. Goes Florida. Off Hands. Played up by Hands. Set to the outside. Lauren Davis pushes it across the net and pushes it out of bounds.
And hard to not be surprised that you didn't get a lift call on that.
Oh, she held the ball for a long time, didn't she?
Yeah, that was any prolonged contact like that, regardless of where it is in relation to your head, when it's that long and redirected, you need to get a whistle on that ball.
Serve coming from Hammonds here. Pass made Hands. Back set, slide play, Talbert, and what do we have? Illegal contact, double hit, called against Camille Connor.
Gators in the driver's seat on this one, and in a good situation having Rachel Kramer and Thayer Hall both in the front row at the moment, and Paige doing what she does best is the first contact.
Pass Hands, weird pass. Tipped across by Talbert, played up by Kramer near the net. Joust. Marley missed. Marley taps it across now into back left. Played up by Hands. Connor takes a swing, and with the lefty, took a rip and killed it.
Good look by Connor as she was moving into the middle of the court, knowing that Florida was working to reset to their base position when so much had kind of spiraled out of control in that play. That's when you want to try to push the pace, and that's exactly what Connor did.
Serve forthcoming here for Camila Gomez. 3 in serve receive for Florida. Fisher in the middle. This one's played by Gregory left. Go to the outside to the Gators, to Hall. Tip shot, down for the kill.
Everybody in the world, and particularly on the court for Texas A&M, thinking that Hall's going to reach into last week and unload on that ball. Perfect time to tip.
Chanel Hargraves in serving for Florida. Had a season high 3 service aces against Northern Arizona back on the 20th of September, which tied her career high. How about a service run for Chanel here on her senior day? The approach and the serve. Pass made, Gomez. Slide play. Patterson off the hands of Hall. Played up by Fisher. Marley dumps it. Played up by Gomez, but it goes out of bounds. Scores table far side. Kill for Marley Monterey over her shoulder, behind her.
Great choice in going to the front left on the dump there, but you have to credit Gomez picking up on that. Reaction time and
wow,
almost keeping the ball alive.
Hargraves readies. Basham left, hands middle, and Gomez right makes the pass. Set to the outside. Here's Davis. She hits it off of Dooley and Monterey for the kill.
Fisher having to sprawl out for that. Almost making the contact again. I know I just said that about the last defensive play, but it's a very difficult thing to do when you've got a ball that bounces off the block and moves around. As a defensive player, you know your role in the defense and how to line up with the block and on the attacker, but as soon as that ball moves off the line, it gets tough.
Camille Connor serves, pass Paige Hammonds. Marley Monterey sets the outside. Hall rips. Dug up by Connor in back left. Off the forearms, out to Davis, goes A&M. Dug up by Gregory. Second contact, Fisher. Hall has to steer it across. Free ball, A&M. Played by Hands. A&M goes outside to Davis. Touched. Played up by Hammonds. Gators regroup. Gators go outside to Thayer Hall. Big rip. Played up by Dooley on the block cover. Out to Hall again. Tip shot. Played up by Connor coming in, sliding on her knees. Back to the back row, Hands. And she'll kill it.
And it's no surprise, Tom, that again, when the Gators aren't swinging away, out of all that exchange, Thayer Hall only swinging on one ball. Great cover by Dooley. Have to add that.
Yes.
But when the Gators are tipping, it puts A&M in a position to get the ball to Hall in hands, or even number 14, right side Treyana Rush, usually ending up with the kill.
Here's Connor serving. Pass Fisher in back left. Monterey sets the middle. Dooley is blocked. Right into McKenna Patterson.
And A&M had their number on that one as Dooley was not only swinging into Patterson, but a late close by Lauren Davis, the outside hitter coming in from the left.
15-10. Here's Connor. 3 in serve receive for Florida. Hammond's shank pass played by Hall to the pipe. But it's played across with 2 hands by Hammonds. Free ball A&M. Out to the outside to Davis. Gators block it. Good block cover Patterson. Connor goes right side. Rush swings. Block for Dooley and Hall.
Good look for Dooley, but more importantly for Hall in sliding that block farther inside the antenna. Giving up the line, knowing that the defense of Allie Gregory is behind her on that, and taking away the angle, which is where Rush wanted to hit. Obviously good read and came up with the block.
Serve forthcoming for Marley Monserrat now. Hands left. Gomez middle. Actually just 2 in serve receive, the 2 of them. Hands passes, they go to Rush. Gators block it back, good block cover for Gomez. Out to Davis, dug up by Gregory, near the net, Monterey will play it. Back row tip, Hammonds. It's down for the kill. Paige Hammonds with the tip.
What a dig by Allie Gregory. Just sauced that last swing. But the Gator block doing a good job of recognizing also, as I mentioned, the inside sets for Treyana Rush. Connor getting the ball a little bit too far inside, and even for the lefty Rush, not giving the option to go down the line. Easy adjustment on the block for the Gators.
Okay, here we go with Marley Monserrat. Her second serve this turn. Just 2 in serve receive, Hands and Gomez. Gomez with the pass. A&M goes to Hands back row, dug up by Gregory. Marley sets the outside to Thayer. She's blocked, played up by Gregory. Monserrat goes back set, right side. Holly Carlton with some extra mustard on that hot dog. 18-10, Florida.
And I thought that was going to be a seam shot from Holly Carlton, but I think she slid the ball inside the right arm of A&M's middle. But there are teams to stay in this. But when you've got a player like Hall or a player like Holland Hands that's accustomed to being able to jump and bang, and that ball stays alive, then sometimes that takes a little wind out of their sails. You want to keep those players from going on runs offensively. Both teams kind of mitigating that threat in each other with outstanding defense.
Allie Gregory now 7th all-time in career digs, with her 4th one today past 5th one past Audi Cruz. Oh, off of Marley's head. Gators keep it alive. Joust at the net, won by Rush. Marley plays it up. Gregory off the forearms out to Hall. Angle shot dug up by Gomez. Connor sets the right side. Rush is blocked by Hall, but it goes out of bounds. She tried to steer it back in, but a nice play by Rush on the right.
Gators caught a break on that one as Monserrat came up. As a back row setter, she can't jump and block, but A&M getting a little aggressive with that swing and hitting down, ricocheting off her head. Legal contact because it's below the horizontal plane this time. Gators stayed alive but couldn't come up with the point.
Serve forthcoming here from Taylor Voss, who's checked back in. Pass Gregory from a knee to the middle. Dooley is dug up, goes up, and forces it back down for the kill. As the dig went up in the plane to the net, Dooley just said, I'll take that.
And with a team that's so defensively scrappy like A&M, Dooley making the smart choice of, instead of swinging on the overpass into the crowd, direction blocking along the net for the kill. Great choice.
Here's Thayer Hall to serve. 2 in serve receive. Make it 3 now as Hands is there left. Gomez middle, Voss right. And it's long. The service error makes it 19-12. Just to follow up on that thought, too, mentioned it quickly, briefly, that now 7th all-time in career digs is Allie Gregory with her 5th today past the great Aldi Cruz. So now with 1,333 is Allie Gregory. Gators go right side. Tip shot. Carlton sent back across by Hands on the way down. Gregory plays it up. Out to Hammonds. And Hammonds misses.
And Gregory and Hammonds both coming from Louisville, Kentucky. And that area is well known for some elite volleyball, but particularly the defense. And even though Hammonds is struggling offensively on this, she also was recruited for her first touch ability.
Sistala serves for A&M. Marley sets the right side. Carlton off Hands, dug up by Sistala. Outside Hands, dug up by Hall, and Dooley's in the net. Here comes Texas A&M, 19-14. Gators were up 18-10, forcing an A&M timeout. Serve coming from Sistala. Short ball. Hall comes in at the last minute to get it. Monserrat sets the outside to Hammonds. Tip shot. Played up in air by Talbert. Somehow they find it. Sistala sends it across but out of bounds.
Gregory doing a really good job of following that ball with Paige Hammonds to the sideline. And while Hammonds is keyed in on the ball in case she needs to play it, Gregory taking a look at the line and calling her off. And, you know, you mentioned with the service error, or the net error on the last one. The Gators can't afford to give up any unforced errors against A&M. A&M's going to earn their points. They don't need any help. Regardless of the lead, the Gators have to keep their foot on the pedal here and make smart choices.
Well said, Dr. Crow. Here is Allie Gregory preparing to serve. On the court with Kramer now. Carlton, Hammonds, Monserrat, and Hall. Hands. That's a pass, though, for Gomez. Into the middle. Talbert missed it. Trying to go around Kramer to her left across her body and cut it too hard.
Well, she did, though. That was a really good look, Tom, and only missed it by a bit. That was the right choice, just not quite executed up to par.
Hands left, middle Voss, right, Gomez. Here's the serve for Gregory. Pass Gomez. Connor sets the right. Rush off the net. Hits it right at Gregory, and Gregory off her left shoulder for the kill.
When you've got a player that's explosive as Rush, and also as a freshman, like I said, refining her fundamental technique with her arm, that player's oftentimes hard to read. And as Allie Gregory's still getting a key on that, Rush looking like, you know, she was going to swing down the line like she did the last couple times, and swung long, caught Gregory off guard.
Rush out, Basham in. Basham serves, and serves it in the net. 22-15 Florida here in the third. Tied at 1 set apiece. A&M, Laura Kuhn has burned both of her timeouts here in the frame. Mary Wise still has 2 in her back pocket. Here is Holly Carlton to serve, right to left. Pass made, Voss near the net. Kramer goes up with Connor, and Connor swipes it off Kramer's hands.
Doesn't matter how tall you are, setters almost always win the joust because they're so good at either their court vision or making contact last on the ball. I mentioned the 3 players back early on in her career that were always tied. She was the other one of the 3 with Allie Monserrat back then.
Here's Paige Hammonds to serve. Big point. Florida can get to set point. Pass, Holland Hands. Connor redirects. Dug up by diving Fisher. Gators go outside to Hall. Tip shot. Touched on the way down by Talbert. It falls. 24-18. Florida at set point. Those in the orange and blue around Exact Tech Arena here in the lower bowl and up in the second level are all on their feet.
That's one of the most frustrating contacts when you're on the way down from the block and the ball is just right there.
Pass made, Hands. Connor goes right side to Talbert. Dug up by Fisher again and back right. Out to Hall. Takes a rip. Dug up by Gomez near the scorer's table. They keep it alive. Hands will play it across. Free ball, Florida. Played by Fisher. Monserrat. Slide play. Kramer. Got it in for the kill.
And of course you can expect the Gators' first chance they get to go to this nearly 6'9" Kramer on the slide that she's worked so hard to develop over the course of lately in her career, and it's been so effective for the Gators thus far.
Rachel Kramer gets her 11th kill on the afternoon. I beg your pardon, her 9th kill on the afternoon. In Voss left to right with Patterson, Connor, and Rush. Here we go. Josh has got the headsets back on. Welcome back, Dr. Crow. Here's the serve for Thayer Hall. Pass, Gomez. Set to the right side. Rush. Off hands. Kill for Rush. 1-0 Texas A&M in a set they must win to try to even it up at 2 apiece.
Pretty impressive performance so far from Rush. Did well against the Gators last time, but nothing like what she's doing so far. Hit 9, 6, and 24 for 125. Enough to distract.
Montre tried to send it across. They weren't fooled. Now back on the Florida side, off Gregory's forearms to Hammonds. Hammonds will kill it. An aggressive swing from the left pin there for Paige Hammonds. And for Paige now on the day, it's 8 kills.
And I didn't want to take too much of your air during that play, but to finish the thought, so far Rush on this match hitting 273. 10 kills already.
First Aggie in double digits. Here's the serve for Gregory. Pass Voss. Connor sets the middle. Around the block went Talbert. Gators go to Kramer. Stick save, one-handed save for Gomez. Out to the outside to Hands. Gators block it. They keep it alive. Hands swings again. Gators touched it. Monterey sets the pipe. Thayer Hall missed it wide right.
And that ball just a little bit offline for Thayer Hall. She's having to reach out, looking for the angles when really she's been most successful as of late in just going either side of that middle block, and she's got plenty of room to work with there.
Basham in for Rush. Basham will serve here. Hammonds, Hall, and Gregory left to right. Pass Gregory. Marley got a hand on it with a pancake save. Hall sent it across. Carlton was going to try to make a play. Monterey dove in front of her, but the ball came back across, and I don't even know how to describe it. Just an odd play.
Yeah, Kramer went up and got the block, but the ball went straight up off of Rachel Kramer's block, and she lost sight of it. She could have actually, played that again herself. It was only a step away from her.
3-1 Texas A&M. Serve Basham, pass Hammonds. Set to the middle. Kramer down for the kill. Make it 10 on the day now for Rachel Kramer.
I asked Rachel after Wednesday's match, would she rather score points by blocks or kills? And of course, she was okay with either, but she prefers kills. She says that's always been her favorite.
Here's Holly Carlton serving. Pass. A&M goes slide play to Talbert, and Talbert kills it.
And Kramer having to commit just a bit to the middle, leaving the seam open, and Paige Hammonds out there on her own against Talbert.
Mallory Talbert, now 6 kills on the day and 19 swings. Here's Holland Hands serving. Hall left, Gregory middle, and Fisher right. I would not want to be in serve receive for this server. Great pass, though, for Gregory. And Kramer, that's all she could do. The ball was maybe set just a little bit too wide.
A little wide.
And she couldn't quite get to it and hit the antenna.
Exactly right. And that's such a, there's so much that relies on the setter delivering a hittable ball in the slide. It's difficult to make adjustments if you're the hitter.
Boy, just another 3 inches in, and that's a perfect set.
Great pass by Fisher.
Monterey dumps it for the kill on second contact. Tight to the net. Kramer doubling back around her. I'll take it myself.
And that's a great choice by Monterey off of a 3-option pass by Fisher. And a lot of times you expect, hey, if you get a pass like that, you're going to feed your big middle. Instead, dumping the ball, smart choice.
5-3 A&M here in the 4th set as Hammonds puts the ball in the net for the error. 6-3, 3-point lead for Texas A&M. Gators up 2-1. Took the first, A&M came back, took the second, Florida took the third. Here serving is Camila Gomez. Gregory left, middle Fisher, right Hammonds. Pass Riley Fisher. Monster has to play it off her forearms, out to the outside to Hall. Hall down for the kill. I'll just take a high ball off the forearms and rip it.
Thayer Hall started off, I've mentioned this on the air before, as a player that either hits hard or harder, but as the season's worn on, her vision, as her career has worn on, her vision's opened up a little bit more, seeing more shots like that, recognizing that she has the low angle, and of course still in a position to unload on the ball.
Texas A&M 6, Florida 4. Serve, Hargraves. Slide play, Patterson. Sailed it long. At the right antenna, went down the line and hit it straight and hit it too far.
Florida taking whatever they can get on this one as they work their way back into this set and in a decisive set for the match.
Serve for Hargraves, trailing by 1. 6-5, Florida down 1. Ooh, Dooley touched that. That might be over the net. No, it's not. Okay.
The sophomore slyly looking up at the up ref.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a no-no. You can't do that.
I did it.
You make that contact, you turn back around, you celebrate with your team. Don't look up and see if you were in the wrong or not.
All right, 6-6 here in the 4th set. Here is Chanel Hargrave's serve. Pass made, Gomez in back right. Connor goes slide play to Patterson. Angle shot, dug up by Hargraves, goes across the net. Oh, stick save, right hand Hammonds. Hall clears it out and sends it across. Free ball for A&M. Connor goes to the outside to Davis, and Davis kills it.
Davis against just Monserrat on the solo block on the outside. Tough spot for Florida to be in. When you have to send over a free ball against a team that's so high-powered as A&M, what do? Especially when the ball's coming from so far back in the court that A&M already has plenty of time to transition, get Connor up to the net. You know that you're going to get some high-powered offense back at you.
Camille Connor set to serve, but first a wet spot on the floor beyond the Florida end line in front of the Gator bench. One of our line judges taking care of it as Connor readies to serve.
Maybe left there by Hammonds after that diving play to recover the last ball.
Yeah. Fisher passes left, Hammonds middle, and Gregory right. Ready to get the serve from Camille Connor. Came into action today with 26 aces, 35 errors. Here's the Connor serve. Pass Hammonds shanked, but Monserrat played it. Gregory has to play it across, though. Free ball for A&M. Set to the middle. Patterson kills it.
A little bit of a late and misplaced block by Dooley instead of moving with Patterson and fronting her. And who knows what the coaching plan is as far as the alignment on the block, but it seemed like Dooley was caught just a little off guard there.
Texas A&M 8, Florida 6. Again, must-win situation for A&M to try to force a fifth. Service error for Camille Connor.
Florida keeps catching breaks in this one. Big question is what do you do with it?
Exactly. Marley Monserrat now to serve. A&M, Texas A&M 8, Florida 7. Davis left, hands middle, and right Gomez to receive the serve from Monserrat. Set to the outside, goes A&M to Davis, and it is out. Marley Monserrat was right there, and she was staring right at her high school teammate. Ooh, that's going to be to my right. That's out of bounds. Go, 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 8-8.
In the intensity from Monserrat and celebrating that, bumping up a notch if even possible.
Monserrat serves, pass hands near the net, stuffed back down by Dooley.
Good position to be in for Florida, back in rotation one. You've got the big block of Holly Carlton out at the right side. Got Thayer Hall, Lauren Dooley, and of course your libero on the court. Good position to be in for Florida right now to score some points.
And a great serve by Monserrat, forcing the overpass. Easy pickings for Lauren Dooley at 6'6". Pass hands. Connor goes right side, rush. Off the Florida block for the kill.
Good choice by Rush.
Hall was there with Dooley.
Yeah, good choice by Rush. Looking at that outside arm. When you've got that big of a block, then you just have to do what you can to tool, and that's a hard ball to recover if you're Florida, even if you are on the line defensively.
Taylor Voss checks in and will serve. Davis out. That means Hands is back on the front row. Pass made, Hammonds. Monserrat sets the outside, and she's blocked. Was Thayer Hall. Patterson was there. Rush alongside for good measure.
Patterson coming down celebrating off of that, knowing what was going to happen before it happened. Florida's got to spread the ball out. As good as Thayer Hall is, she's not going to be able to swing this one alone, just as I mentioned with Kramer hitting out of the middle earlier.
Here's the serve for Voss. Pass Hall. Monserrat tracks it down, sets the right side. Carlton off the net. Dug up by Connor. Second contact rush near the net. Stuffed back down by Lauren Dooley.
And that's what you got to do if you're the Gators. Monserrat's got to keep going pin to pin as much as she can. Keep Patterson doing the same. If you're going those higher sets out to the pin, get your middle worn down, get her guessing where it's going to go, and then that opens up opportunities for Lauren Dooley to get kills out of the middle.
Thayer Hall to serve. Hands left, middle Gomez, and right Voss. Here's the serve. Oh, it's just wide as they were targeting Voss again, and service error. A&M retakes the lead 11-10.
The Gators really being transparent in their attempts to either get the ball to Voss or to Holland Hands to try to take them out of the offense the best you can.
She was the most targeted in serve receive last time the two teams met, that being Voss. Here's the serve for A&M. Pass Hall to the right side to Carlton. High off hands it goes. Played up by Sestala to the right side to Rush. Rush is blocked by Dooley and Hammonds. Hammonds got most of that one, if not all.
And I'll tell you, anytime that Florida's been fortunate enough to catch Rush on that inside set, they've done a really good job of shutting her down at the net.
And for Rush's defense, too, it was low and inside, and she had to try to hit a high or a low hard one.
You're right. Trap set.
14. Gregory serving for Florida. Pass Gomez to the middle. And Talbert not on the move this time. Just went straight up and went to her left and killed it.
Being fronted by Rachel Kramer. Rachel kind of keeping the block what it seemed to be narrow and tall instead of spreading it out. leave just enough room to get around.
Texas A&M 12, Florida 11. Checking in and serving is Basham. Floater, pass made, Gregory. Back set, right side, Carlton. A&M keeps it alive. Voss will play it. Hands plays it next. Free ball, Florida, played by Gregory. Monserrat sets the right side, sent across with the right hand for Holly Carlton. And Holly Carlton had to adjust and play with the right hand. No problem for Holly. She gets the kill.
And after seeing how Holly Carlton's going after the play before that, any setter would definitely get the ball back to her again. She's taking it up a level, really playing aggressively on offense. See if it carries over to the serve.
12-12 in the fourth. Serve Carlton, pass Gomez. The setter sends it across, but sends it out of bounds, does Connor. Right in front of the Florida bench.
Rare error for Connor. She's looking for that left front position, kind of back setting the ball over the net. But like you said, just about 2 feet too wide.
13-12 Florida.
Somebody lost something. It looks like one of the ball boys dropped something on the court there. Thayer Hall.
Yeah, picked it up for her. She gets an assist. I'll put it in the book.
What a gal.
Carlton serves. Pass.
Uh-oh.
Not a great one. Connor off the forearms. Over to Hands. Dug up by Hall. Back row attack for Hall. Off Hands. Dug up by Gomez. The setter sends it across and sends it across long the other way again. Rare back-to-back errors by Connor.
Things are looking good for the Gators, starting off with catching Basham really high on that pass and narrowing the offensive options for the Aggies.
Carlton with the serve. Pass Gomez. Connor goes to the outside to Hands. Hall got a hand on it, but that shot off of her into the third row quickly, far side. So the kill for Hall and Hands.
But how about this, Tom?
8 kills on the day.
8 kills, and if you look at it, this is the first time that, well, not the first time, but in a while that she's breaking back into positive as far as the hitting percentage. When you've got a player like Holland Hands limiting the serving and hitting, doing all right if you're the Gators.
Last 2 matches against Florida, she's had 58 kills. Pass Gregory after the hand serve. Back row attack, Hall, roll shot, partially touched. To the right side to Talbert, and it's long and wide.
Riley Fisher in right back for the Gators, doing a good job knowing where she is and calling that ball long. Or wide, excuse me.
And we have a timeout here at Fifth. Fun to watch.
100%. And interestingly enough, the freshman, Treyana Rush, leading with 11 kills for Texas A&M, and McKenna Patterson with the highest hitting percentage at .333.
Serve for Paige Hemmons. It's a pass by Basham. A&M goes right side to Holland Hands, and she'll blow one by or right through Allie Gregory.
And again, Florida asking for the back row attack. And I think enough to convince Mary Wise that she's got to bring out the green card for the challenge.
And she will. Now, if her foot is on that 3-meter, 10-foot line, that would be reversed as a fault by a back. Here is Camila Gomez serving. Gregory, Fisher, and Hammonds in serve receive. From the floor, there's the serve. Pass Fisher. Out to the outside to Hall. Tip shot played by Davis. Second contact, Connor hits the antenna or the post far side.
Surprisingly effective, the tip off of Thayer Hall on that one. Had a bunch of Aggies scrambling for it.
Florida 16, A&M 14. And this is where if you're Florida, you want to get some separation with Chanel Hargraves coming in. You don't want to leave that door cracked open for an explosive A&M team for a 5th set.
You're right, but you can't overextend in force situations. You just have to be ready and take advantage.
Play your game. Pass Hand, sets to the outside to Davis. Gators block it, played up and played across there by Connor. Monterey will set the outside. Hall with the tip. Played up by Davis behind the block. Second contact, Connor. Back row, sent across. Free ball played by Hall. Hall takes a swing. Played up by Fisher. Second contact, Dooley. Looked like a genie in a bottle there. They set Patterson. Dooley plays the ball up. Hargraves is called off by Monserrat. Hall swings and hits the ball in the net.
A lot of pressure on Hall, a lot of contacts there. I think in one of where Monserrat probably could have fed Dooley in the middle. Dooley keeping pressure on with transitioning quickly and getting up to attack. But Monserrat leaning heavily on the outside hitter for Florida.
Connor to serve. Florida 16, A&M, Texas A&M 15. Fisher left. Hammonds middle, Gregory right in serve receive. Connor preparing to serve, but first, it looks like the net cam was knocked askew during that play, and our down official moving it there.
And that may have even been on the earlier one when Hall tipped over the block and had everybody scrambling on that side, I think.
All right, big serve here for Connor of A&M. Pass Hammonds. Monterey just has to get forearms on it, runs over Fisher. Patterson plays it, set to the outside to Davis. Gators got a hand on it. No one's going to get behind the block of Dooley and Monserrat. Gators looks out of sorts.
Too much hesitation there on Hall's part. Saw Riley Fisher coming in after Thayer Hall had already committed. When you're in that situation, you can't be tentative. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure there's any situation in volleyball with the pace that these players have to play where you can afford to be tentative.
Tied at 16, fourth set. Gators up 2-1. Here's the serve for Connor. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat sets the outside. Hall. Hit the block, goes out of bounds off of Patterson and Rush.
And Hall getting her money's worth while spurts. If you're Florida, you have to, as I said earlier, keep the pedal on the floor, not be discouraged by this call being overturned.
All right, 18 to serve it again for A&M. That is Camille Connor. 17-16 A&M. Not the other way around. After the challenge is upheld, the reversal. Pass Hammonds, overpass, look out below. And she came through and hit the net. That's a net violation on Davis.
And I mentioned early on when Lauren Dooley had an opportunity to either swing or direction block, and she direction blocked. That's a really big reason why. It's easy to get overzealous and error when you're swinging on those overpasses.
Yeah, Davis had a wounded duck at the net, and she followed through and hit the net. Here's Monserrat serving. Set to the right side, Rush, off speed shot. Played up by Carlton, but she plays it into the Florida bench from one knee.
Carlton, as she dropped to the ground on that one, looked like it was a little bit of an awkward play. Instead of sprawling, thought she could maybe just take a knee, but forced her into a weird spot. It was kind of a weird contact.
18-17, Texas A&M. Voss back in. Hall left. Middle, Hammonds. Right, Gregory, and serve receive. Here's the Voss serve. Pass, Hall. Monserrat sets the right. Carlton, off hands, dug up by Voss. Connor goes middle. Patterson kills it.
Paige Hammonds with the read in the seam there, but a lot to work with as the Gator block, just a little bit late to close.
Florida hasn't been getting efficient first contacts. They need a better first contact. 19-17, Hall left, Hammonds middle, Gregory right. Voss to serve. Here's her approach and her serve. Vance trying to help. Hammonds with the pass. Monserrat sets the outside. The tip shot by Hall. Then she sends it back across. Connor to the outside. To Hands. She's blocked. And it's down. Dooley and Carlton were there.
Smart play by Hall and keeping the pressure on. Just throw that ball back over as quick as you can and keep the Aggies scrambling. You know, you mentioned the serve receive and Florida not doing a very good job as of late getting a first contact. That's primarily a focus issue, Tom. You got to bounce back off of that stuff and move on.
Hall serves for Florida, down by one. In the middle to Patterson, off speed shot. No pancake there. She just went up and over Dooley. Well placed by Patterson. Texas A&M 20, Florida 18. In case you were wondering, the last two meetings between these two teams went to 5.
Florida trying to break that one here.
Yes.
It's still close. You know, there have been runs by both teams. Could go either way.
Sestala into serve for A&M. Pass Hall. Will someone get there? Yes. But Florida will give them a free ball. Played by Talbert. Set to Talbert. Talbert kills it.
And again, Hammond's in a position overhead pass instead. She got choked up on that one, shanked it.
Hall in right, middle, Gregory. Hall with the pass there. Monserrat all the way to the outside to Hammonds. Off hands, kill Paige Hammonds.
Good choice, coast to coast. Going from the right pin to the left. Paige Hammonds just opening up and hitting the angle off the block. Gators with a little breath of life, but they've got to really get on it here to get something done.
Time to play defense. That's what Florida's going to have to do.
Well, they're ahead on
Get some blocking rhythm.
Yep.
Pass Gomez after the Gregory serve. Talbert is in the net. Wait a minute. No, Florida's in the net. Called on Kramer.
And Rachel Kramer seemingly confused.
What? Says Marley Monserrat. Mary Weiss says we weren't in the net. As the officials will concur right in front.
Texas A&M. And an aggressive serve will help with that.
Hands is in the front row. Remember that. Oh, not a great pass. All the way out to Hands on the outside. Off hands. Stuck up Hall. Monserrat sets the outside. Hammonds with a tip shot. Played up. Talbert blasts. Dug up by Carlton. Marley steers one to the pipe. Hall swings. Dug up by Gomez in back left. Talbert whiffs. Not a good connection with, say though, with your your confidence in Talbert when you've got hands in the front row and you go to a slide play to the sophomore Talbert. Wow.
Well, and I'll continue this in a moment. Go ahead.
Gomez passes out to Hands, off Hands, saved by Gregory, but saved to nowhere, and she ran into Hammonds, and Hammonds looks like she's dazed just for a moment as she took a blow from Gregory. Just a side swipe. 24-22, and there's Hands with a kill in a big spot. Set point, and Hands serving. Are you kidding me?
Not the person you want behind the line if you're the Florida Gators right now.
But high risk, high reward. Exactly. Let's see what Hands has up her sleeve. Hall left, middle Gregory, right Fisher, who's back in. Pass Gregory. Monterey off the forearms. Hall back row rips. Dug up by Gomez. Over here to Davis on the outside, and Davis airmails everything. What? A touch is called, or it's called in.
Oh, wow.
It's called in. It hit the line judge on the right leg. That can't be in. Is there a touch call? The line judge's leg is outside the end line.
In the past, they found a way around and through them, and calling on that now. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Josh. Teams have broken huddle, and they're back on the court. For A&M, it'll be Connor, Rush, and Patterson, along with Voss, Hands, and the libero Gomez, as the middle blocker Talbert will begin this fifth set on the bench. For Florida, Dooley, Hammonds, and Carlton, along with Hall, Monserrat, and Gregory, as Kramer will begin this fifth set on the bench. The race to 15. It is key and it is positive to get out to a quick start because everything is magnified with the shortness of this set. Hands left, middle Gomez, right is Voss in serve receive. Dr. Crow has rejoined us here at our courtside position. Here's the serve for Hall. Pass Voss. Set to the right side. Rush. Tip shot. Played up by Carlton behind the block. Monserrat sets the pipe. Hall is blocked. She played it up, but played it up out of bounds.
It's difficult to cover an attack. It's even more difficult to cover your own attack, and Hall just got a little bit flinchy on that one, sending it into the stands.
1-0 A&M. Here's McKenna Patterson to serve. But she won't serve. We'll have a substitution from Sistala, who has served it well today. She had a service ace against South Carolina in their last match on Wednesday night. She serves here. Pass Hall. Monserrat sets the outside all the way over to Hammonds. Down the line, dug up by Connor. Hands takes a swing, and it's in.
So difficult to play a team that has their biggest weapon on the outside. You'd think on a swing like that down the line from Hammonds, it did a very good job of disrupting A&M, that A&M would be at a disadvantage. But when you could throw the ball to your outlet hitter and get that result, wow.
Sistala also has an ace today, by the way. Set to the right side. Carlton missed. Mary Wise up off the bench trying to get her players fired up and get into it.
And that set from Monserrat to Carlton at the right, uncharacteristically fast for the connection that we usually see between those two.
Sistala serves, pass Hall. Monserrat sets the middle. Dooley straight down for the kill.
Haven't talked too much about Lauren Dooley so far. Despite clocking her 9th kill, only one error. She's hitting well on the match.
Just haven't gotten a lot of balls to her.
But if the connection in the middle works, well, there are two middles and the other one's in now. We've got Rachel Kramer in the front row.
Here's Allie Gregory serving. And serves it long. Fans calling for it to be called in, but it was long in the blue.
And of the 4 points in A&M, Tom earned one. The other 3 errors by the Gators?
Well, a block and a kill for Hands.
That's right, block for Hands. That's right.
So 2 and 2. Here's another one of those back row players into serve, Carly Basham. Pass Gregory. Monserrat sets the middle. Kramer down for the kill. That's what you need if you're Florida.
And now, again, you know, there's multiple advantages to that because not only does it get points immediately, but in future plays it takes focus from the blockers. You can't get double blocks on the outside as easily.
Here's the Carlton swing on the serve. Pass Gomez to the outside to Hands. And she missed on an angle shot. Went wide in front of the Florida bench.
And this one was much clearer. Florida all of a sudden right back after it.
Texas A&M 4, Florida 3 after the Hands error. Here's the Holly Carlton serve. Good serve. 3 players collide. They get it to Talbert, though, and she kills it. 3 players on the ground, and Florida is mystified by Talbert there at the right antenna.
Well, that doesn't affect, it doesn't matter how many players it takes to get the first contact. That connection with Talbert being so fast and her willingness and readiness to be up and swinging. Credit A&M. Credit A&M.
Good point, Dr. Crow. Here's Hands the serve. Hall left, middle Gregory, right Fisher. 5-3 A&M. We're in the 5th. Tied at 2 sets apiece. Here's the serve. Pass Gregory. Monserrat, slide play. Kramer, off hands. Dug up by Basham. Set to the back row. Kramer got a hand on it. Monserrat sends it across. Played up by Gomez. Out to the outside to Davis. Off speed shot. Played up by Kramer. What? What's the call?
Double call on this as Kramer goes up to block.
I thought it's a block, then she could play it.
Well, here's the deal. If she was already back down and made contact, even if it was a block attempt, and that ball was even contacting the horizontal plane, then it won't count as a block.
6-3, 2 hits called on Kramer. Here's Hands. That one's long as Gregory got out of the way at the last minute.
The intensity you see from both teams here is staggering.
These are 2 or 3 rotations Florida needs to make some hay with Hands in the back row.
Absolutely right. On the other hand, we've mentioned time and time again how she's been well contained so far in the match.
Yep. Here's the serve for Paige Hammonds. Pass. It's a shank. It's an ace for Paige Hammonds.
And Marley Monserrat grabbing that ball and throwing it to the back corner of the court to get it out of there as she celebrates.
Paige Hammonds with her first ace on the day, make it 39 on the year. Another one here would be a tie score. Let's see what Paige has in that right arm. The approach, the toss, the jump, the serve. Pass Hands, far side. Connor goes to the slide play. Talbert. Oh, and Hammonds and Fisher were both there. Neither could make the play.
Asking a lot of the Florida defense on that as they funnel the slide angle. Block not terribly effective on this side when we're seeing slide approaches. It's one thing when you've got Rush hitting, that lefty hitting right side, but the slide approach has been very effective for A&M.
Talbert now with 11 kills. Here's Gomez serving. Pass Fisher. Monserrat goes slide play. Kramer dug up. It's in the bench. Kill for Rachel Kramer. Make it 13 to lead everybody.
And it's been so cool to see how Rachel Kramer has shifted from being a 2-footed attacker in front of the setter to such an effective slide attacker for the Gators.
Okay, Chanel Hargraves checks in to serve here in this spot. Her approach and her serve. Pass made Hands, collided with Basham. Connor tried to take a swing and hits the ball in the net. That's 4 hits. We're tied at 7.
And the up official taking quite a while to call that 4 contacts, but it seemed pretty clear from here. It was below the tape.
Yeah, we don't have a whistle.
I do actually in my bag right now.
Yeah, but you can't use it. You'd be thrown out. Serve Hargraves. Pass Basham. Slide play Patterson. Gators play it up somehow. Hall says, I'll take a swing, and she'll get a kill. Gators take their first lead here in the 5th set.
Again, I hope Paige Hammonds is paying attention to that contact.
Middle to Patterson, and Patterson kills it. Forget about McKenna Patterson in the middle.
And before that swing, hitting at a 368 clip, when you can get her the ball, if you get McKenna Patterson the ball, she delivers. She's shown that time and time again.
That's her 10th kill. 4th, Aggie in double digits. Here's the serve for Connor. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat sets the outside. Hall. They kept it alive. It was Gomez. Back row. Hands. Caught some net. Played up by Fisher. Monserrat plays it out of the Florida bench. Steered across by Hammonds. Free ball. Will they go to the right? Will they go to the middle? They'll go to the middle. Patterson, and Patterson kills it.
And yet again,
you can't just give them free balls.
Set, kill.
Yep. And they had their choice with Rush at the right antenna or Patterson in the middle. And now Florida will make a change. Checking in is Holly Carlton. Here's Connor to serve. Hall left, Hammonds middle. Gregory right, tied at 9, 5th set. Pass Page. Carlton sets the outside. Hall, off hands, played up by Gomez. Set to the right side, Rush. Missed everything. Looking for a touch. No touch call forthcoming, but we're going to have a challenge.
And I don't know. It looked like they might have clipped something on the way through that block. I'm sitting at a really bad spot for it, but...
No, she's not going to challenge.
Oh, wow.
10-9 Florida.
Florida may have caught a break on that one.
Serving is Marley Monserrat. Pass made Hands. Connor goes to the middle to Patterson. Played up by Carlton behind the block. Monserrat sets the outside. Hall rips. Dug up by Gomez in back left. to the pipe, hands, dug up by Monserrat. Gregory's got it. To the outside, Hall. Sent across by Monserrat, and she'll get the kill!
And what a tough ball to handle by Thayer Hall, but fearlessly going up nonetheless and challenging on that one. That ball was well in the plane. A&M could have eaten that up with the block.
And Monserrat, careful, had to stay below the plane of the net. She did. She just pushed it into A&M's back left.
Vicious shoot set to the corner.
11-9. Monserrat serves. Point here would be huge. Pass hands. Sets in the middle. Patterson off hands of Dooley. Gators with a chance. Gators go outside to Hall. Hall off hands. Played up by Holland hands. Connor sets the right side. Rush. Gators block it back. Rush plays it up. Dooley sends it across. Played up by Gomez. Monserrat tipped by Hall. And Hall is blocked. She hit it right into Patterson.
There are a couple.
But wait a minute. What do we have? A net violation called on A&M.
That's an absolute game changer at this point. You can see through there. Challenge card in hand.
We'll have a challenge, an A&M net violation called, and Laura Bird-Kuhn, the Texas A&M head coach, right away with the green card. I think even if there is a net violation, she's got to make that challenge there.
Sure, and if not, we've mentioned this before, but these challenge plays allow the teams to come over to the sideline. You can't huddle off the court like you would a timeout, but it's a pseudo timeout,
it's the same
especially
thing.
If there's a long deliberation over the play, which you could bet there will be at this point with so much on the line late in the fifth set.
Lisa Jordan is the replay official, taking a look at the DV Sport monitor directly across from my position. Both teams hanging, waiting on this decision. Bishop Moore Catholic High School, here is her serve. Pass Holland hands. Connor steers one to the outside to Davis. Angle shot dug up by Gregory. Who else? Sent across by Dooley. Gomez over to the right to Rush. Dug up by Hammonds. Monserrat sets the right. Holly Carlton off hands. Dug up by Holland hands. Near the net. Dooley goes up. And it's tapped across by Patterson. I thought Dooley could have gone up early and challenged.
Oh, that was such a strange contact also from Patterson. Being so tight to the net, she was tentative with that tip. Hard to read for Dooley.
And here comes for Texas A&M, Taylor Voss into serve. Second opportunity at match point for Florida at 14-10.
And we see Gregory encouraging Dooley, be aggressive at the net right now. We need it.
Here's the serve for Voss. Pass Hammonds. Uh-oh. Hall has to play it all the way to the right side to Carlton. And Carlton hits the ball in the net.
Very wild miss hit, but right off the bat with a...
Wow. Tension. You can cut it with a knife here.
Florida taking a little bit of time to
Where
clean
will
up the floor.
Where will Florida go if the Gators get a good pass? Kramer is not on the floor. The middle is Dooley. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat goes to the outside. Thayer Hall. Dug up by Gomez. Connor goes outside to Davis. Dug up by Florida, but they'll send across a free ball. Played by Gomez. To the outside. To hands. Dug up by Gregory. Near the net. Gators play it back. And it's out.
But Lauren Dooley doing exactly what she needs to, what she was encouraged to by Gregory, just in the play before, at least getting up to challenge with the block.
A&M. So she has options. Whether it be Carlton, whether it be Dooley, whether it be Thayer Hall. Big smile on Thayer Hall's face. She looks like she's loving the moment.
Well, of course.
She's passing left, Hammond's middle, and right Gregory.
Everybody thinking that Hall's going to get the ball. I think Carlton's a go-to on this one.
Here's the Voss serve. Pass Hammonds. Monserrat goes outside to Hall. Hall. The dig goes across the net off Gomez. Marley sets the outside again. Hall again. Hall kills it. Thayer Hall. Her smile gave it away, I guess. She knew that somehow she would put Florida in the driver's seat to win today.
When you're a setter and you see that reaction from a hitter before you even get it, you're going to give them the ball. I was wrong, and you know what? I'm not upset that I was wrong on that one. Thayer Hall came through for the Gators.
Thayer Hall, a match high, 16 kills.